I'm at my limit. I will end everything.
What is up, everybody? I'm Mia and welcome to yet another breathtaking episode of Epic 7. As I have stated in my previous video, I actually wanted to do a Holiday Euphine review, but she turned out, let's say, rather strange, so I was all like...
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Oh yes, it is official now. And you heard it here first. The era of great meta-defining, must-pull limited units is over. Dunzo. Finito. Gone. Ottawa. Vorbei. It is basically done, son. It is tragic, but from here on out, limited units are just collector's items, with no real purpose behind them. Anyways, let's forget about Holiday Euphine, just as 99% of Epic 7's player base already has, and focus on something new, shinier. The next Moonlight hero. Smilegate wouldn't dare to Mystic summons, right guys? Right guys? And the next Mystic summon is... well, Smilegate actually did it, those mad lads. They took Iseria and Mamakise, and in some kind of weird unholy fusion ritual, they created Iseria, the ultimate cleaver. And she's loaded with powerful abilities, such as extra turns, crippling debuffs, skill resets, and she dispels everything. Not only does Iseria protect, she also attack, which makes her the ultimate Moonlight waifu. What do you mean by Moonlight picture? That's not Moonlight Iseria? I'm sorry guys, apparently hype got the better of me. So this is our next Moonlight hero. Emo, sad Iseria. Well, she is still a cleaver, but we did go a bit overboard with the skills and stuff, so let's correct it here. She does not have any extra turns. I wouldn't say her debuffs are crippling, but she does do debuffs. She does not have any skill resets, but she does dispel everything. But she gets something new, a passive that increases her hit chance. Now, can she still be the ultimate cleaver? Or is she just, dare I say it, balanced? Let's go and find out. As per usual, character design is up first. Briar Witch Iseria is an Iseria that lost her husband and now tries to off herself. Which kinda reminds me of another unit that was released months ago in a different gacha game. Wait a minute. Here, there she is. Huh, what do you know, she even looks the same. This is Grace from Dragalia Lost, who also has a similar kind of backstory. But, well, if Moonlight Iseria is even half as OP as her, she's gonna be a great unit. So, design-wise, well, I think it's nothing special. If you're into gothic, sad kind of chicks, this might be up your alley. I think it's alright. Design's alright. Nice copy. Let's move on. Skills and stats are next. Let's start with the stat distribution. These are the stats of my Briar Witch Iseria with gear on her, so you can better see the scaling with gear. But on their own they don't tell you very much. So let's compare her stats to another cleaver. Let's compare her to Arbiter Wildred with the same kind of gear. As you can see, she does not have the highest attack. With the same gear, Arbiter Wildred gets like 500 more attack out of that gear. Arbiter Wildred has more speed and more hit chance with the same gear. So in the offensive stat department, she is not the best in her class as a cleaver. Maybe you'd say comparison to Arbiter Wildred is kind of unfair, which might be true because RB is kind of OP. So let's take someone else, something closer to her stat line. Let's check out my Bloodblade Karen. Yes, Briar Witch Iseria has the stats of a 4-star hero. Very nice. Except for BBK has like a little more attack, less speed, but more hit rate. And she also has better multipliers on her skills, which makes BBK the superior cleaver. Well, that said, BBK has maxed memory imprints and Briar Witch Iseria has 0. That explains her bit higher attack, but let's face it, Briar Witch Iseria has effectiveness and she is lacking in attack and critical hit chance stats, which makes her stat-wise an inferior cleaver to Bloodblade Karen. So maybe her skills make up for that? This is Iseria's S1, the Fallen Flower, which is pretty awesome on first glance. You have a defensive break, which is always welcome to see on an S1 skill, but it also has its downsides. Max moonlight, you get a 75% chance to land that defense break, which in reality is quite lower because of innate effect resistance and so on, and you only have a 1 turn death break. On top of that, you have a very low multiplier of 0.85, which is substandard and below other heroes. Remember that her S1 is not an AoE skill, it's a single target skill. Compare her S1 to the S1 of her normal version, the Refined Flower. You'll find that her regular S1 has better multipliers, has a 2 turn death break, plus a low-cost soul burn attached to it, so it's way better than her S1. Let's compare her S1 to another unit, to Terran Guard, and you find more similarities. We have death break, we have the same 75% chance to land it. Terran Guard has actually better multipliers, and also the 1 turn death break. In a vacuum, if you compare Terran Guard's S1 to Iseria's, her S1 is actually worse than that of a 3-star. Good job, Smilegate. Good job. Let's move on to her S3. Here we have the Cursed Thorn, Iseria's S3 and bread and butter skill, an AoE cleaving skill with some debuffs attached to it. As you can see, Smilegate wants you to use her as a cleaver, with the soul burn effect being increased damage dealt. They don't want you to use her as a debuffer and support unit, otherwise they would have given her ignores effect resistance soul burn. But anyways, there are some great things attached to this skill. For example, she dispels everything, if she overcomes the RNG of course. She has an unbuffable debuff, if she overcomes effect resistance of course. And she can land an attack debuff, which is an okay debuff. It's not the greatest debuff, but it gives her a lot of survivability, to be honest, if she doesn't kill. But she's a cleaver, she is meant to kill. Then again, she has low multipliers on her skill. Compared to other cleavers, it is pretty low. Even her soul burn multiplier is lower than that of others. For example, BBK has a higher one. Even the 4-star hero has a higher one. It's pretty embarrassing. And of course, everything is subject to RNG. She does only reach 85% to land her debuffs, which is okay, I guess. So all in all, her S3 is alright. It could be a lot better if it had extinction or if it had an extra turn like all the other cleavers in the game have. Even Arbiter technically has an extra turn because when he is retaliated against and when he dies, he goes twice. But Iseria is like the only top cleaver who only goes once, which is okay. So let's check out her unique passive skill, her S2 then. Maybe we can find greatness there. This is the Witch's Curse, which is the passive skill that is supposed to make her unique among all the other cleavers, because what she has is an inbuilt Oath Key with a 35% increased hit chance, max molat. This passive is supposed to counter all those pesky evasion RNG heroes like Riolet and his evasion friends, which are actually nowhere to be seen nowadays in the current meta, except for Riolet himself. Which in return means in all other encounters, this passive is basically a dead skill and is not being used. Which means Iseria effectively, in most fights, has only 2 skills instead of 3. She has less skills than most of the other heroes in the game. Plus, it doesn't even guarantee that she hits those evasion heroes, because there's still a good amount of RNG left between those skills. So it does counter them, but not fully. What are you saying there's more to this skill? A successful attack inflicts additional damage to the enemy. That is actually quite an outrageous lie, because it's not additional damage. This damage is taken from her multipliers. Did you fall for this? My theory is that Smalgate stuck this sentence onto her S2 because her S2 would otherwise have looked like this. Like nothing. Like there was literally nothing there. But now they can say, wow, she does extra damage, which she doesn't do because this damage is really taken from her multipliers. If you add the damage from here to her multipliers, they will average out with other heroes. This extra damage is actually a double-edged sword, because heroes who would have otherwise died to your normal cleaving with normal multipliers now will survive and will be able to counterattack before this extra damage procs, which for example means a martial artist can, who would have died, now smacks you in the face and heals right back up before this extra damage tick happens.
Fight me!
But it's good against Chaerons, right? Her kit is meant also to counter Chaerons with the stripping and the unbuffable debuff, right? Well, let's check out how you kill a Chaeron with ML Iseria.
Should I fight like Lots? Take this!
I can still endure.
Number 1. Strip the Chaeron of all his buffs, which means you have to overcome the 50% innate resistance and overcome his effect resistance.
This is going to hurt.
Step number 2 is you have to land the debuffs, which means you need to proc her debuff, which only has 85% chance. You have to overcome the innate effect resistance, and you have to overcome the effect resistance. Step number 3, you need to deal enough damage through mitigation, and you have to deal enough damage without the extra damage. So the extra damage proc will finish him off in the end. Step number 4, you have to survive all the retaliation from Seaside Bellonas, from Charles, from Kent's, and from all the counter set units.
Descending blade!
Step number 5, now watch the dead Chaeron come back to life by a Ruelle, an ML Chloe, or an ML Ravi, and then repeat the whole cycle again or probably die.
Spirits of the 5 seasons, lend me your strength.
So you'll see it's actually not that easy to kill that Chaeron. To be honest, it works in most cases with her, which is crazy, but I had a lot of Chaeron survive because the extra damage wasn't high enough to finish them, or she doesn't dispel. So you see, you have to fight a lot of RNG to get rid of that Chaeron, which is not good.
How futile. Disappear.
Oh yeah, there's also this string myth. Everybody was so excited about the extra damage and said, wow, it's gonna be so awesome if you use the drink on her. But as it turns out, if you want to reach high damage numbers, there's no way around crit damage. And with high crit damage, actually Savior does a lot more damage than Drink. So Drink is actually not her best artifact. Who knew? So here's the verdict on her skill kit. Defense break on her S1 is great, although not the best. Her full strip is awesome, but you have RNG everywhere, which makes it kind of, I don't want to deal with RNG anymore. Epic 7, why? She lacks damage compared to other top units. And of course, in most encounters, she will only have access to 2 skills. She does not have any extra turns, she has no extinction, and she has low survivability, which makes her kit kinda meh. I would say her kit is pretty balanced. But that's not all. What makes her really bad is her counters. Yes, her most feared predator is this guy.
But sometimes, more unexpected sounds grab our attention.
Chaos!
Like this desert rain frog. Squeaking viral sensation.
I will destroy everything. Slowly. Chaos!
11 million hits and counting.
Can you
It sounds like a dog toy.
hear the approaching
But actually, this
ruin?
is the sonorous war cry of a very angry frog.
Descending
Ferocious.
blade!
It would be a blessing to die like this.
Now that Arby was the last Moonlight hero in the Mythic rotation, everybody and their mother has him. But aside from him, she also has other counters, like almost all current meta heroes. Which makes her actually unusable in Arena, in my opinion. Just look how she tanked my win rate in low challenger. But anyways, let's make some showcases and put her to use in Guild Wars. Maybe there she can shine. Okay, let's go Guild Wars and take on the next best tower. That is Iceman. Okay, I think I'm gonna skip all the fights for you without Iseria. Okay, let me speed this up.
I'll show you my ability. Take this.
I can still
Okay.
endure.
Here she goes. Let me show you how balanced she really is.
At my limit, I will end everything.
Oh my god.
I pulled my weight.
How much was that? Wait, let me replay this. 30k. Yeah. I don't think that was supposed to happen. The damage is really actually not that great. A new Guild Wars season has just started, so we are probably matched against the weaker guild. I mean, all my other cleavers would have done probably more damage than her. Okay, let's try out against the next tower.
I won't lose to anyone. I'm strong.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn. Angelica
This is going
should
to
survive this, and so should SSB.
Are you ready to order?
Or not. But Angelica survived this.
Should I fight like lots?
Iseria won't kill any tanky
Victory
heroes.
is mine.
Or anything that is not squishy. She will leave that alive. Which might call for a secondary cleaver. I tried that, but it wasn't too awesome either.
I'll show you my ability.
Because of speed tuning, and I don't have the gear for a second cleaver. Okay, Tywin is a
lose to
tank, he should
anyone.
survive this, and Bellona should survive
Now's
this.
my time to shine.
It hurts.
Which actually is a problem if Bellona survives this.
Won't you regret this?
Bellona survived this because yeah,
show
okay,
you what
she
I
didn't
can
crit.
do.
But it seems like it's a lower rank guild we're up against, so
Don't ignore the
those
twin.
3 matches actually doesn't count, and I will add some arena losses
I'll
afterwards
show you my ability.
to even that out. She's actually
Don't
not
waste
that
my
great,
time.
even though those numbers just seem impressive. But if you've seen the other fights, yeah, my other units actually did a ton of damage too.
Chloe's coming. Help!
Trust me.
Like, look at the spike in here. He one-shots everything.
なんなら鞘でやってやろうか。容疑ないね。6問は持ってる。うざようなよ。
I'll take your life. Your dead comrades are waiting for you.
See, everything dies. It's just
Patty cake, Gyro's man. Bake me as many cakes as you can.
Foolish.
oh god, you feel so pathetic.
気が冷めちゃう
Like every hero one shots except her.
根性ねえのか
Destina's protection. Step back, flies.
切れない役者不足
So that's it for PvP. She doesn't really work in arena. From what I've experienced, too many counters, too many teams you can't attack with her. She did work in Guild Wars, maybe because there's less mitigation and less tankiness going on there. As for RTA, I don't know, she might be too squishy for that because it's a bruiser meta again. Yeah. What about PvP? She has no place in PvE. Her strip is awesome, which would be good for some bosses, but bosses mostly require single target nukers, which she isn't, which means she will deal less damage. Plus she packs a lot of debuffs, which are punished by said bosses that need to be dispelled, so she can't be used there. Maybe there's future content coming up, but then again there's a lot of randomness and acute going on. It's not looking great. She is actually not usable for PvE at the moment. So my final verdict for Emma Iseria is balanced.
I can still enjoy.
Out of 5. That's it for me for this episode. I hope you enjoyed your time. If you did, you know what to do. Give me all your money. That was a joke. And this video is monetized and so on. Probably isn't worth a cent, but anyways, I thank you for watching up to now, and I'll see you on the next video.
To her.